questions?
Sure. So my name is Megan Metzger. I'm the CEO of DCode, and we focus on all things related to government tech and innovation. So we run tech accelerators to help emerging technologies understand how to work more effectively with the government, and we help advise and train the government on how to be more forward-leaning, innovative, and better stewards of innovative capabilities.
Hey, Major Austin Bryan. I'm the Chief Operations Officer at Platform One. I've been doing that for about 2 years, was there at its founding, and so I've done everything between manage cash flows, talk acquisitions, review code, whatever it really takes. So happy to be here.
And hi, everyone. I'm Captain Rachel Zoll. I'm the Chief of Product for Kobayashi Maru, which is the Space C2 program office falling under the Space Force, but I'm still an Air Force captain. Got to keep represent. My main focus is everything and anything and everything product. Just trying to kind of align our organization and really support not only our stakeholders, but our customers and our product teams. So excited to be here.
Awesome. So obviously this is an outcomes-based panel. We're really focused on emphasizing outcomes over output. We often hear that in the Department of Defense. So what would you say, what does outcomes over output really mean? What's the goal of focusing on outcomes? Rachel, if you want to start.
Sure. And I would say too, I love that saying. It's also a really great foundational book. Really quick read that really kind of sets the standard and sets kind of a good understanding that you can start to wrap your mind around what even is an outcome. So something I like in the book and something that I kind of am looking to align KM around is that outcome is that change in a human's behavior that really drives business value. So I think when we're thinking about outcomes, we're thinking, what is that behavior? How do we define that behavior? How do we measure that? How do we communicate that progress? And that mindset shift, there's a huge mindset shift from thinking about just an output of this is the task or the thing or the feature, and actually what the value is that the user or maybe whoever your customer is, because it could be your end user of the product, but it could also be maybe your colleague, maybe someone from a different team that works in your organization or your stakeholder. There's a lot of ways that you can kind of look at that value.
Sure. So it's a great question. I think a lot of times as an engineer in the Air Force, one of our main jobs that I tell young engineers is kind of evaluating through the warfighter's eyes, because we work with a lot of vendors every day, right? And it's really easy to get obsessed with the technology stack or sprint planning, and all these things are really just experiments on how to do something. But when you stay at that lower level and you kind of operate in a silo, you forget sometimes that you're trying to change an outcome for the warfighter, right? So that interaction with customers is a big deal, and trying to define, how do we outpace China and Russia? How do we stay ahead? Why does technical competency matter? Why does delivering software fast matter? And so at Platform One, we've really implemented OKRs, which I know are very popular and everybody has opinions on them. But it was really fun to do at Platform One because we got really obsessed with the tech stack for a very long time. People probably have that opinion anyways of us. But in a discussion on outcomes is really interesting because it really helps you focus. Like scaling has been a very tough thing for all of us, I think, in the innovation system. And it's really hard the main part of scaling really becomes like, what do you say no to? Because it's really easy, like, hey, if can do it and we have the software talent, so we should just do it. That's actually really dangerous because then you end up doing a bunch of things really, really poorly. And so focusing on the outcomes you're trying to achieve 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now really helps you say no to the right things and focus on the right things.
Sure. So we've trained people across the entire DoD. So I think bringing a little bit of a perspective of what we've noticed across all of the different services. And this is so important, and it sounds very obvious, and outcomes, of course, everyone wants outcomes. At the end of the day, we can't confuse activity with productivity. And if no one uses it, or if no one gets any value out of it, then you've wasted all of your time. So if we aren't focused on what success is for the people that are going to be using it, the airmen, the guardians, anyone, then we've built it for nothing. So, we can create a lot of code, we can put out a lot of functions and features, but if it doesn't, have one more user pick up the software and use it, if it doesn't attract one more user to come to the platform, then we didn't actually achieve any outcomes.